Now the US has attacked the Chabahar port, and I have heard a lot of absolute nonsense online of all different kinds. But this prediction from the 20th of July, 2020, I mean, 6 years ago, the moment India leaves the Chabahar port project, Israel and the US would smash it like a hot potato. India is Iran's lifeline. Now, on 1st February 2026, when Nirmala Sitharaman ji announced the budget and no money at all was allocated for the Chabahar port project, it was decided right then that Iran would be attacked. Secondly, Bharat had transferred its stake inside the Chabahar port in the Chabahar free zone to local Iranian businesses, because American sanctions had already started to kick in. So there was this waiver given to us, and the US was negotiating it, and we were also negotiating to keep it going. So as soon as that was withdrawn, Bharat decided that since our money is invested, we should just transfer it to some local Iranian business institution for the time being. That is our stake. And then obviously, because Bharat has exited in a way, an attack was bound to happen. So the US then attacked on July 9th. And for those who understand or think that we have abandoned the port project, no, we have not abandoned it at all. The stake that we sold in the project, we will buy it back at a lower price than what we sold it for. Okay? But there is a condition with the new regime. Now, this prediction we have given for Cuba, marked with a red circle from 2024. There is news coming in that senior US defense officials are discussing what kind of military operation to conduct in Cuba, because the South American continent will now become an American economic union, which I have predicted in 2024. Secretary Marco Rubio, who is in a way now the de facto president of Venezuela. It is important for the viewers to know that all the resource related decision making for Venezuela is happening entirely from the office of Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He is now the de facto president of Venezuela. Now, this same Secretary Marco Rubio is now talking about announcing a 25% tariff on Brazilian imports. So President Lula's government in Brazil has been told that, look, you are basically not negotiating with us in good faith. If you are not ready for our terms, then we are announcing a 25% tariff on your goods. So Secretary Rubio's issue is this, and some US senators are together preparing a draft bill to impose a 100% tariff on Bharat. America's problem is that they do not want to say this, because the whole world in the last 40 to 50 years, they have taken the dollar so high that everyone has developed a habit of polluting their own country, abusing their own resources to make goods and services for America. Now, by announcing tariffs, you are trying to break that habit, but it is not going to break, because tariffs will not work. Tariffs will only work when the dollar is devalued. The habit you are trying to break for the rest of the world of not selling things to the West, not selling services to the West, right? This habit of dollarization you are trying to break. The process of de-dollarization can only succeed when mathematically the dollar is devalued and countries realize for themselves that selling to America makes no sense. There is just no room for any profit in it. So until the dollar is devalued, the world is not going to reverse its old habits.
no matter how many tariffs you announce. Sure, tariffs will help, but when? Only after the dollar gets devalued.
After that, the rest of the world will stop selling you goods. Just by imposing tariffs, no nation's habits are going to improve. So now their problem is that they want to say that the whole world has not dumped the dollar, but because we announced tariffs, people stop selling to us. It is not going to happen like that. You will have to devalue the dollar. Only then will the old habit of selling you goods go away. I had predicted that Trump would ask everyone for money, so he started asking for 20%. Then he must have gotten a reality check, so now he has reversed that 20% demand. But you are saying that I want even more than that. Give me even more money. So promise me billions of dollars in investment. How much? I do not know. I do not want this 20%. I want billions of dollars investment. Only they can understand what they are saying. It is better if others do not understand. Now this Israel's Rafale advanced defense systems, which is looking towards Bharat for the Iron Dome production line. And I am very positive about it. Whether should the Bharatiya forces use Iron Dome or not, I am not technically sound to give a final opinion on that. But we should do the manufacturing. Yes, we should take the technology transfer. Yes. We should definitely take it and sell it. Yes. We should definitely sell it after making it. We will make it for whoever wants it. So if anyone needs a reliable partner for defense manufacturing, Bharat is here. It is not necessary that the Bharatiya forces use the finished product or not. That is on merit. The Bharatiya forces will decide what they need, but we can make and sell everything else. The Consul General of Israel, who is here, came to Karnavati as per custom, and we had a detailed talk across different domains. And I feel that since Bharat and Israel are similar nations facing radical threats, we are natural partners for conducting operations. So for conducting operations, wherever Bharat needs Israel and Israel needs Bharat, whatever kind of help is required, both nations should fulfill it. That is what I feel. So it is well understood that the same radical threats are troubling both of us. And as I often say, Jammu and Jerusalem, the day Jerusalem falls, all that radical threat will attack Jammu, because in the whole world, as I say, there are only two things, Jammu and Jerusalem. Jammu gave you two dharma on one belt, and on the Indus belt, it gave you two more dharma. The Jerusalem belt gave you two religions. So the whole world is just two things, Jammu and Jerusalem. So the day Jerusalem falls, they will all come together and pounce on Jammu. So it is a common radical threat. And for de-radicalization, whatever operations, whatever kind of operations, massive military ops, or those operations that are publicly accepted, I am not just talking about those kinds of operations. I am saying that whatever kind of operations are needed, both nations should support each other in them. And this capacity is not just capacity, this is Bharat's resolve that we have taken. That if our terrorist is found in any nation, even if it is America, he will be taken out. Whether he is found in Canada or in America, wherever our terrorist is found, we will take him out. And your law there, if some country has housed our terrorist, or if they have nurtured him, if they have funded him, or if they have shielded him, if some nations' intel agencies have covered him up, saying, no, no, he is our citizen, then we need to have those methods with us where we can eliminate them. And let that country cry. Why did you kill him? He was our citizen. Brother, he was your citizen. So you should have taught him to live a good life instead of teaching him to trouble Bharat. Right? Let's go.
Japan's XX minister has posted something where he is saying that, look, from Bharat side, the Bharatiya minister, well, he really condemned it, and he went on to say that regarding the Shinkansen train project, there is a lot of delay from Bharat side. And after the delay, he is saying that whatever we suggested, those parts were also maybe changed by Bharat later, the Bharatiya team looking at their own interest, and then they keep changing the terms and all that. I mean, he gave some pretty heavy criticism. The interesting thing here is that there is a big difference between Bharat and the rest of the world. Whenever any foreign country talks about these standardized projects, they assume certain things. Like, for instance, in this bullet train project, the credit Japan is giving, they're giving this loan at a very low rate of interest. And when countries that have developed the technology, and the one who has developed the tech, when they give a low interest rate for that project, then it is also assumed that everything needed for that project, whatever the cost of material or equipment, it will all be bought from the country they say. And you will just agree because you have already got the loan at a low interest rate. So why would you have a say? So this assumption that Japan made for the Ahmedabad-Mumbai bullet train project, it cost them dearly, because from an Bharatiya perspective, we do not look at it that way. We look at every single thing. We will look at the effectiveness of every single thing. So if we can get those train coaches, parts, materials, or equipment made at home for 50% of the cost, or can source them from somewhere, then we will not take that costly Japanese material. So it really stung them because they are the ones who provided the loan for the entire project. And the expectation was that we would buy everything from them, which is the standard protocol. But Bharat does not work by the standards, right? Bharat does not work according to the standards. So it really stung them, that thing. And secondly, what they are calling a delay. Basically, it is not a delay. You already know which state government was in power in Maharashtra. In between, right? That Agadi government, they just were not clearing things while the Gujarat portion was being completed quickly. But the Maharashtra portion, while the Agadi government was governing over there, well, now the Japanese are expecting it to happen at speed. But how can it happen at speed when the government is from the opposition party in power? And they were not giving clearances for so many things, using different excuses in the name of environment, pollution, or whatever. So when Uddhav Thackeray's government was in power, then they are perceiving that delay as a Japanese delay. To them, it is definitely a delay. So I think there was a lot of criticism because of that. But Bharat moves at its own pace. You know it. I know it. And we both know the bureaucratic process. Because when something can be sourced in Bharat with more effectiveness at a lower price and better quality, then why would we purchase your stuff? You might be feeling the pain and you might have thought that since the deal is done, only our material will be used, but it does not work like that. It does not work like that in Bharat. In Bharat, a bureaucrat will check his own security 50 times before signing anything, so he does not get caught. So this caused a lot of pain, and people started making all sorts of comments saying, oh ho, look, the Japanese minister is saying you are inefficient. But no, it is running with good efficiency, and it will even start on that track from 2027. And as you know, we are now manufacturing and exporting many railway coaches ourselves. We have already received export orders from quite a few countries by now, at different levels depending on whatever their budget is. Some want 250 kilometers, some want 150 kilometers speed, whatever it may be. Now we are getting orders, that is a fact. Okay, so now you will have to accommodate Bharat a little bit too. It cannot just be the case that because a deal was made and you are giving a loan, it means we will only take your product. So let us see how it goes, but it is certain that Bharat's very first bullet train, the Ahmedabad-Mumbai one, is about to start running. The project is expected from almost 2027. Okay.